Hi, this is Mark from LongIslandWatch.com. Today, we'll review the top 5 selling Seiko watches in the store by quantity from you or most of you, the consumer. Again, this is by quantity, not revenue, so none of the money gets in the way of muddying the waters. So I'll start at number 5 and I'll go down to the best seller. Starting at number 5 is the Seiko SSK 001, which was released in July of 2022, and this was their first GMT watch with the NH34 movement. I was a little bit surprised that this piece actually outsold the Blueberry, the SSK 003. But at a street price now of $380, it represents an amazing, affordable GMT option from a well-known watch company, and that's what a lot of people like. A lot of people like history, heritage. Obviously, that's what Seiko brings to the table. And I'm going to just kind of bury the lead a bit and say this watch, the geometry of it is based off of the SKX 007, which I happen to be wearing one of mine today. Number 4. The Solar Diver, the 38.5 millimeter Solar Diver, number SNE573. Black dial, again, rubber strap, street price of $357. This watch came out July of 2021. And what I dig about this watch for it being on the countdown is the fact that it's a 30.5 millimeter watch, so it clearly shows that you are looking for smaller wristwatches as the years go on. The big craze is over. It's solar, it's not an automatic. So for me, that's like kind of eating part of Citizen's deal, because Citizen's really big into the solar. It's the only solar on the list, but really glad to see it made an appearance. Coming in at number 3, we have a Presage. My favorite Presage, the Cocktail Time, SRPB 41, released in August of 2017. Not the oldest watch on the list, though. There is an older one coming up. Street price of $338. This is that beautiful blue dial bracelet watch. Runs on a 4R35 movement. The dial on this thing is simply captivating. I'm actually wearing one of my Cocktail Times. And again, just to kind of foreshadow where we're going here, this watch is based off of the original SARB, SARB 065, which was the JDM Cocktail Time that was around for many years, and eventually Seiko saw it was so popular, let's bring it to the States, and that's when they released the SRPB, still all in production, okay, 5 years later, SRPB 41, 43, 46, and 77. All 4 of those are still kicking around. The SRPB 77 was also an amazing seller for the year. That's the ice blue dial, white dial, they call it an ice dial, I think, on a stainless steel bracelet. But that's the Presage SRPB 41 coming in at number 2. I think it's the only surprise for me on the list, SWR 049. This thing sells like gangbusters, and I think it's because of the price. Street price right now, about $156. Released in January of 2021. This is a straight quartz tank watch, very thin, very elegant, clearly a dress watch. It is the, not predecessor, it is the follow-on piece to the SUP 880, which was a solar version. This is a straight quartz version. You'll notice that Seiko pretty much has dropped solar from everything in the low-cost field. If you want to get solar now, a lot of them you got to go a little more expensive. There's still some kicking around, but they basically reintroduced this watch as a straight quartz piece, and it sold really, really well last year, and well, 21, 22, and I think 23. This is definitely the biggest year for that watch ever. I don't know if it got more press or whatever, but certainly it accelerated this year. Lastly, the big guy, and do you know what it is? Shout it out. It's the Seiko Turtle, the straight black turtle with black rubber strap. So to be fair, this is model number SRPE 93. This was released in August of, no, excuse me, this one was released a couple of years ago. It's basically the same watch as the SRP 777 with an extra lume dot and some changing of verbiage on the case back. for the ISO 6425 spec to meet it. But I'm basically saying this is the SRP 777, SRP E93, same watch, released in August of 2016, over 7 years later. This watch is still going strong in the Seiko arsenal. That is pretty impressive. At a street price of $372, sold almost 300 pieces for the year, which is really, really incredible. Considering also that the watch it's the only one that exists still from when Seiko re-released the Turtle. When they re-released the Turtle, they did, I think, 4 versions: a black dial, a blue dial, a black and gold, and I want to say a Pepsi. And those all quickly died away within like 2 years. The black one still goes strong. Others have come and gone. They still, what are they making the Turtle one up still? And the regular Turtle, not the King Turtle. They got the Patty and some others, but this is the one that continues to wow. So that's the top 5. Do you see a common thread in basically all of them except for number 2, the Tank watch, and maybe the Solar? And I'm not even gonna say that. No, because the Solar kind of looks like a diver. It is a diver. They basically are all throwbacks on designs that they're just kind of regurgitating or reiterating. Number 5 was the SSK 001. That's basically an SKX 007 case, which was released in the 90s. SNE 573, let's face it, it's basically like a Submariner of sorts, but still Seiko reaching into their history, Seikoizing it, but giving you something that looks awfully familiar to you. SRPB 41, this is that blue Presage based off the Cocktail Time that came out in the 90s as well, or late 90s, early 2000s. Let's skip the Tank, because that's not really based off of anything. It's just a traditional vintage dress watch. And then the SRP E93, the Turtle based off of the old 6309 design Turtles from decades ago. So really, Seiko has found a lot of utility in reinvigorating the past, which is really impressive, is keep regurgitating stuff and keeping it current. Again, this Turtle has been out now for 7.5 years. That is stiction. This has been Mark from LongIslandWatch.com, giving you the top 5 Seiko watches in the store by quantity for 2023. What were some of your favorites? Put them down below in the comments. I love to hear it. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. Questions, comments, anything else you want to say, leave it down below. I'll be sure to address it as soon as I can. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.